What's up, y'all? I'm back up in that ass. I wanted to talk about Tariq Nasheed. People know who Tariq Nasheed is. If not, I mean, that's what the hell Google's for and YouTube and all that other shit. Type it on in. Don't be rebellious. But anyways, he's a kind of a somewhat of a pro black brother, or whatever. And I mean, don't get me wrong. He talks about black empowerment and in terms of money, he talks a lot about white supremacy and gives some game, and tips on, what we should do as black people to combat the system of white supremacy. And I do respect him for that. I do. But it's a lot of things that he just does that irritate me, and it's something that I've thought of, and as and I'm a fan of his show, by the way. This is not no like trolling type thing. I'm a fan of his show. And like I said, I agree with a lot of things that he says, but it's some things that he does that, well, I already said that. But I just wanted to speak on some of the things. Like when he one thing I noticed about him that really irritates me is when he talks to black people, he's very, derogatory towards his own people. Like when people call in his show, I mean, he talks to the way he talks to black people, like if he doesn't agree with, something that they're saying, like I notice a lot of times if a caller calls in, he got this thing where if you got a deep voice, he feels like you're flirting with him. Just because you got a deep voice, he thinks that certain callers with certain type of voices are always trying to mac on him. And I think that's a little weird in itself, to be honest. Every nigga's not trying to mac on you, Tariq. I mean, you got to get over yourself, my nigga. I know you put your lip gloss on and everything before you start the show and all, and that's another thing. Get to that in a second. But, you got to understand, some niggas just got deep voices. If Barry White was still alive and he called in the show, that nigga's not, his voice is going to sound just like how it sound on the record. The nigga ain't trying to mac to you. That's just how that nigga voice sound. The nigga on Boys to Men, the bass singer, if he calls into your show, the one who left the group, if he calls into your show and he's calling to ask you a question, the nigga's not trying to mac on you. That's just how the nigga voice sounds. You got to stop this. Everybody who got a deep voice, I think that they're flirting with me or whatever the fuck you be saying, a sultry voice and all that shit. Come on, my nigga. And but going back to how he talks to his callers. I've seen people calling the show and he's calling black folks all the bitch niggas and moist and you hoe nigga and, just talking real crazy and real reckless, to his own people. But he'll go to Fox News with these white supremacists and they're insulting him and raising their voice at him and saying all types of shit to him, disrespecting him. And he always keeps his composure with them. Why you always keep your composure with them niggas? And he tells his audience, he'll be like, well, you see how I handled that? You see, they wanted me to get mad, but you see, I don't let them get mad. I control the narrative. This is how you debate the white supremacists. Really, nigga? That's how you debate white supremacists? Motherfuckers who want to lynch your ass from a tree? By being calm? I mean, come on, my nigga. But you scream on your own people all the time. But that's how you handle the white supremacists, the motherfuckers who hate you, the motherfuckers who hate your people, and the motherfuckers are, who are the reason why you got to keep making these documentaries, especially the Haiti one. These are the motherfuckers trying to kill every nigga on earth. But your resolution is to be calm with them and be mild mannered and. You see, I didn't let them get angry. I never heard you once call them niggas out their name or even shout at these white supremacists. The fuck is up with that? And there's even callers that call into your show. What's that white dude's name? His name is fuck. What is that dude's name? He's that alt-right motherfucker. I forgot his name right now. It'll come to me in a minute. But you know, he calls in Tariq's shows, and I've heard white supremacists call into it, you know, to his show. People who blatantly are racist and hate black people, and he never screams on them. He never talks reckless to them. He always has a poise about himself when he talks to these white supremacists. I find that a little strange, Tariq, if this ever can get to you. You know, I don't got no damn views. You know, this is my third video, and if it don't get to you, fuck it, shit, life goes on. But I do find that a little strange, you know, of how he talks to black people as opposed to how he talks to white supremacists. You know, that's an issue that I have with him. You know, and you know, the shit that he, you know, well, I don't care about the Tommy Sotomayor shit. Tommy's a coon, fuck him, you know, shit. He, you know, actually, I feel like Tommy should have bust his ass in the eye, personally. I mean, Tariq should have bust his ass in the eye, personally. He should have whooped the nigga's ass, I felt. But, you know, but it was what it was. But, you know, and another thing, going back to the moist shit, you know, he's always calling niggas moist and all this type of shit and doing moist shit. But Tariq, you do some pretty moist shit yourself, if we're being honest with ourselves. You know, all that, like I said, all that shining up, you call niggas dusty all the time. Your damn lips must be dusty. Because, you know, every time you look up, you're trying to polish them motherfuckers. And, you know, this nigga, you know, for somebody to keep calling niggas moist, you sure seem to be preoccupied with your looks. Now, let me tell you this. There's a difference between taking pride in your appearance and obsessing over your looks. There's a difference. That's why you always hear bitches talking about they, you know, they'll be in the middle of dinner talking about they need to go powder their nose because they're overly obsessed with their looks. That's what Tariq be doing. You nigga, you be doing that shit. You be in the middle of this nigga be talking about some serious shit. You know, you're talking about the white supremacists and what we need to do. Well, hold on. Let me. My elbows are ashy. Hold on. This nigga be talking about some serious shit about cops killing black people and a pause in the middle of a video. Yeah, my lips are greasy and my hairline and my haircut's fucked up. Nigga, nobody gives a fuck about your haircut. Nobody's even, like, most of the time, I'm like, even when he says his hair is fucked up, I still don't even see what's wrong with it. Nigga, why the fuck are you worried about your hair in the middle of a video? If you felt your hair was that fucked up, you shouldn't have made the video. But that's some moist shit to me, you know, how this nigga's always, you know, preoccupied with his looks and just always in his videos and is this ashy? I need to put this on and in my hair and look at my hair and like, nigga, relax. It's a blog. You're a married man, so you shouldn't be concerned about what any females feel out there. As long as your damn wife likes your haircut, then what the fuck do you care for? You shouldn't be concerned with, and you damn sure shouldn't be concerned with what niggas think about your, you know, your hair and your elbows and all that kind of shit. So who the fuck are you trying to impress? That's a little moist to me. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, it's just a few things that he does, and a lot of times, you know, and the last thing, 'cause I'm not trying to harp on this, brother. I'm not trying to like just, you know, I'm just speaking on a few things that, you know, that kind of rub me the wrong way, even though I support him and I like the things that he's doing, and fuck Umar Johnson while I'm at it. But anyways, I just want to say, like, Tariq, he got a little ho-tep in him too, because there's a lot of times Tariq be breaking down some shit and you can tell that he's like kind of making it up on the fly. You know, he'll be saying some shit that nobody's ever heard of. You know, he'll say some shit like, see, a lot of times what the white supremacists to do is, when the history books come into school, you know, I sound like Tariq. This is how Tariq does when he mock people. When the history books come into school, what you don't know is that a lot of times they build an underground tunnel under the floor, and when the books are coming in, there's a secret compartment below where they re-alter the books. See, he always says a lot of times, and And maybe that's a bad example, but he'll say a lot of times, and nobody's ever heard of the shit before. How did they do it this much and nobody's heard of it but you? Even white people don't even be hearing about something. White people be like, oh, really? We do that? Like, it's like he be making up some shit sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you could tell he's kind of freestyling. He'll say something and he really don't have a lot of facts to back it up, but he'll try to wing his way through saying some shit that, you know, he probably not even sure of himself, but, you know, he got the game in him. I ain't going on the pimp shit. I don't care if he was a pimp shit. I mean, good shit. Make that money off them bitches anyways. But overall, you know, like I said, I think the reason why I'm making this video is because I feel like Tariq has, as good as he's doing, he has a lot more potential to have a lot more influence and not just financially, but in terms of his mind, because he has a great mind. But, you know, I don't feel like sometimes he uses, you know, his power and his influence to its full potential. And maybe some people disagree, you know, but I just wish that, you know, he would get off the petty shit, because he's always talking about he's King Petty. And it's funny that he's